This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle Steve in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella at the undercard press conference here. That's not really an undercard, is it?
What else is it?
Well, like you say, it could headline.
Could be a mate. Yes, I know. We had two, didn't we? Two press conferences. I'm not doing any more silly endings on your videos where you can mug me off with David Brent. It's funny.
Was you drunk last night?
No, do you know? What? Yeah.
Was you drunk?
No, I wasn't drunk. People always say, "Oh, some bloke went, oh, he must have had a few last night." No.
It's a great spill. Would you think you could top that?
But that's what I do. I spill, bullshit and a smile.
Maybe we'll catch you after Saturday night.
Used car salesman, photocopies. I could sell anything.
All right, let's talk about the first press conference, which was very entertaining.
It was quite placid, wasn't it? And all of a sudden, exchanges between EUBANK SNR and Dave Coldwell, which were just priceless.
Was he right or wrong to bring up Dave's career record?
I understood exactly what he was trying to say. He was saying, what he was trying to say was, I was a much better fighter than you. I operated at a much higher level than you.
Why is that relevant?
I know. Well, it's not. I don't think it is. Okay. But that's what he was trying to say. But by asking Dave what his career record was, he was trying to belittle him, really. And Dave, quite rightly, stood up for himself a bit, and he weren't happy. Regarding the Conor Benn stuff, fair play to Conor Benn. Stood up for himself and told him what he thought.
Would EUBANK SNR have still said the same things if Nigel was here?
I don't know. Well, she was. We could have done EUBANK Ben 3.
I think if he said it, I think it really would have gone on.
I think, like I said to you, I think that a lot of people are going to look at that on Conor and say, "Fair play, son." And even when I went outside, I said to him, "Well done." He went, "No one's saying that about me." No, he was still. Conor's a live one, and you can see that when he fights, and he weren't messing. So that was exciting.
Yeah. Have you got to go?
No.
Oh, all right, yeah, cool. So anyway, you can understand why Dave Coulter and Tom Doran feel a little bit disrespected by the amount of the Golovkin-EUBANK talk ahead of Saturday night. But I think they accept that as part of the game.
It's part of the game. It's part of boxing. People talk about looking past opponents. It's only really my job to look past opponents because I have to plan the future of these fighters. You can never look at the one fight. You have to think when they're boxing next, or who's out there in the division, or what route are we trying to take. So, but I think the fighters themselves and the trainers won't overlook a fighter, and I think they certainly haven't. I think they've been in a position now where
Hello, Chris. Problem, Chris?
Yeah, good.
What's the problem, Chris? Air your views, Mr. English. What was he doing?
He was telling me how. Anyway. So,
Chris, we're all friends here. Come and join the party.
I'll be 3 minutes, Mr. EUBANK.
Jesus Christ.
So, I don't think Junior has looked past him. I think, and Ronnie Davis said so much, and Doran can fight. I know EUBANK's a big favourite. Doran can punch. He's a good boxer. He sees this as a huge opportunity for him, but he has to hold it together. I think that's the key in this fight. There is talk about Gennady Golovkin. There is negotiations, but really all that matters is Saturday night. And I honestly believe that's all Junior is thinking about at the moment.
Moving on to your second press conference. Watched the gloves off last night. It was brilliant, actually.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
They kind of have that respect for each other, but there is that niggly, very niggly.
Everything's on the line in Groves Murray. You're talking about career, basically. You're talking about world championship aspirations. And I honestly believe that the loser of this fight will retire.
Really?
So, yeah, I do. I think that Martin Murray, you got George Groves after the Badou Jack fight, was hurting bad. And, I don't know him well enough to tell you that he was considering retirement, but I think he'd had enough. And I think a loss to Martin Murray, I think he'd walk away from the game. I can speak for Martin Murray, and I know that he's put his absolute life and soul into this fight. He's got the attitude that I've seen with so many fighters before, which is saying, I have to win this fight. Whatever it takes, I have to win this fight. And that's a dangerous mentality to be opposing, because he will do whatever it takes. And when it gets tough, and it will get tough on Saturday night, he will still be in there. And he talks about it coming down to heart. It's going to come down to skill as well. George Groves is a very skillful fighter. I think under Shane McGuigan, he looks like he's punching harder than he has been previously. But ultimately, if this fight goes past 6 rounds, I think it's going to come down to who wants it most. And I can't see anybody who wants it more than Martin Murray.
Martin Murray said that he feels as though, just in his opinion, that he doesn't feel like George Groves should have left Adam Booth. If Groves and Adam Booth's relationship had gone on to the day, do you believe that George Groves would have been a world champion by now? Or is that hard to say?
It's a shit question, really. I mean, if George Groves was in his corner if Adam Booth was in George Groves' corner for the Froch 1 fight, would he have, would he have come out like that and been as explosive? But I don't know, there's so many questions to ask. Adam Booth's a very good trainer, Shane McGuigan's a very good trainer, and Paddy Fitzpatrick probably doesn't get the respect and for the work that he's put in.
But George specifically puts down the Badu Jack
he blames
on
I
Paddy
don't know
Fitzpatrick.
enough about it. I can't tell you the answer to that fight. Only those two know the truth. I don't like blaming anybody for something which ultimately you control your own destiny, if that makes sense. You're the fighter. You've got to take it on the chin. You've got to go in there and win. Yeah, of course, the instructions are important. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for winning and losing, nobody else. So that's my opinion anyway.
Your prediction for Groves Murray?
I think Martin Murray's going to stop him, mate. 10th or 11th round. It's so fascinating because you've got to make George Groves empty his tank, right? And there's no secret to that. He doesn't look well on the weight. He looks like he's struggling at the weight. My opinion. Do you agree with me? I mean, I know you like to sit on the fence, but he obviously looks a lot different to he did a couple of days ago, for example. Yeah, he looked very tight at the weight. It's not a huge disadvantage because some people they do struggle to make the weight. But I believe if you force the pace against George Groves, his tank will empty. But by forcing the pace, you have to take chances. And George is very good at dictating the pace of the fight with his jab. He did that against Froch in the second fight. I think in the second fight, their plan was to have plenty in the tank for the back end of the fight. Because in the first fight, his tank emptied. But you have to make his tank. Look at the fight that he was in with Carl Froch. Look at the 6 rounds of that fight and what went into it. I think most people's tank is going to empty. But to make his tank empty, you have to make him work. You can't just follow him around getting a jab in the face. You've got to get inside, you've got to fight him on the inside, you've got to rough him up, you've got to make him move. And that's easier said than done.
Whatever happened to Adam Booth from Chris Eubank?
Don't know, I don't think it worked out.
Okay.
Alright?
Fair enough. Right, you've got to go and see your mate.
Yeah, well, I think you should go out there. I liked what you did there.
What? Was he making faces behind my back?
No, he was just saying, come on, I need to
No,
talk
but
to
when
you.
I looked round, he was kind of smirking and laughing. And I don't like that kind of shit.
Well, why don't you take it out there and go and talk to him?
He's just going to run away from the camera like he just did.
Good footage, wouldn't it? Out there, still.
Is he really?
Why don't you go and film that?
Oh, wait.
Right,